Morning folks, welcome to day 3 of the Horners Coast to Coast. I've just opened the blind in my bedroom window with a bit of trepidation, it's got to be said. And I've just been greeted by this sight, absolutely gorgeous looking day for walking, blue skies, and the temperature, just looking at the BBC, temperatures look to be around 15-16 degrees for most of the day, which is ideal walking temperature. What a difference a day makes. Let's go and find out what's for breakfast. Here we go then, back at my own personal table in a restaurant, starting with a nice plate of fresh fruit there. And going to be, it looks to be a full English buffet style this morning, so we'll probably get involved with that as well. So, sit rep, don't feel too bad despite all the exploits of yesterday. Legs feel pretty good, feet feel good, so I think we've got away with it to a large extent. Obviously all of those practice miles wandering around Cudham last week really paying dividends. I've got to say that was a week ago, and that seems an absolute lifetime, but feeling pretty positive today. The only minor gripe is maybe a little bit of rubbing on the backs of the legs, so I'll be digging the body glide out before we set off today. Right, morning again folks, beautiful Lake District morning today, so that's looking really nice. You joined me at the start of stage 3 of the Coast to Coast. So stage 3, I'm here in Seatoller in the Borrowdale Valley. We're going to carry on up the Borrowdale Valley, and then we're going to go over the tops before descending into Grasmere. Now, Grasmere is quite a lot more touristy on account of it being the site of William Wordsworth's family home, where he wrote his famous Daffodils, etc. So tend to be quite a few more casual walkers, I think, once we get over to Grasmere. But it'd be nice to sort of see people out and about, because yesterday was quite a sort of lonely existence. Anyway, good news is everything's dried out. I've done a lot of faffing around. It's 11:15 already, but full beauty routine, so feeling a lot better. And I've completely repacked my bags. Pack's feeling a bit heavy today, but I've got a full drinking bladder, so that's 3 litres of water, so that's an extra 3 kilos. And obviously as I consume that, the bag will get lighter and lighter. So it's all good news. I'll see you in a few hours, hopefully make it to the outskirts of Grasmere in time to find a sandwich somewhere. A lot of the places around here tend to only serve food till 3, but I'm hoping to get this done and dusted in 4.5 hours, maybe 4, so should be in time. In terms of the route, I've been through the map. There are a couple of quite steep climbs again, but obviously it's dry and that makes a big difference. See you later. So just out of nowhere, I've just come around the corner. There's this absolutely beautiful, swift flowing river. A really lovely spot. And a quick look at the map, this is the River Derwent. I knew it rose in Borrowdale. We did the Lakes Whisky Distillery tour down at Bassenthwaite at Easter, and they use all the water from the Derwent. Derwent itself flows on down to Bassenthwaite, through Bassenthwaite, and then empties into Derwent water. But they did mention about Borrowdale being the wettest place in England, so there's plenty of water for cooling the whisky condensate there. But yeah, really nice looking spot there. Right, first tractor bit of the day. I'd assumed that I'd lost the path, but I've just had to scramble across that lot, which is difficult with the big weight on your back. And now apparently you've got to use these chains to get across this lot. It looks quite slippy, hence the chains, I guess. Let's see how we get on. Well, you don't see too many of these, or certainly I've not seen too many of these in these parts. I think our David would be having absolutely massive charging anxiety if he was on a driving holiday round here. Few and far between. Right, you find me in the lovely picturesque hamlet of Longthwaite, one of three such hamlets in the Borrowdale Valley. We've also just been through Longthwaite, which is where the Borrowdale Youth Hostel was. I came past that, looked really, really nice. That's where the Australian lady and her two teenage kids who followed me down through the cloud off the mountain last evening, they were staying there last night. That was quite a bit on past the those wet rocks that we had to scramble across by the river there. I really wouldn't have fancied doing that in the failing light last night, being so tired. So I hope they navigated that safely, and hopefully I'll bump into them en route at some point today. Really nice family. In fact, the teenage girl, she put me onto this All Trails app, which I'm using today. Uses your phone's GPS and has sort of inbuilt maps of like 450,000 different trails, and that's making navigation so much easier today. We should have known about that before, so thanks for the tip, my Aussie friends. So still quite a lot of wet bits on this footpath. Apparently this stretch can just turn into one sort of torrent of white water when it's been raining, so probably a good thing we're doing this today. Yesterday I think this would have been a very different proposition, and it's been like this for about half a mile now, but it's not too deep, so the feet are still dry. That's good news. Just past the very first people of the day coming in the coming from the opposite direction. Three sort of young men, youngish men. One of the lads had a rod sort of strapped to the side of his backpack where your poles would normally go. It was a good idea, and I really did toy with bringing a telescopic rod to have a go at the trout in some of the mountain tarns that we're going to be going past over the next couple of days. But all in all, thought it's probably not a great idea. What would I actually do with a trout? Carry it around with me. Right, path is just starting to climb now. I guess we're going to head all the way up this valley and go over the top somewhere. Not quite sure where the climb starts, but we're definitely on the ascent. That building over there, I think you can actually stay bed and breakfast, albeit it's on the other side of the river. That's actually called Tilly's Barn. Now I've got a niece called Tilly. That tor looming above me over to the east, that's called Eagle's Crag, that one, according to the map anyway. Yesterday I had no mobile signal pretty much all day. I suddenly realised, because I got a new phone, well, Angela's old phone, I hadn't downloaded any music on Spotify, and I hadn't downloaded any podcasts, so in the really bleak moments yesterday I had nothing to listen to, and it really did get a bit boring on particularly some of those very long, tedious valley climbs. I'm just going to turn the camera around and show you around the Borrowdale Valley. Huge steep sides, sort of classic example of glaciation, Glacier Valley, and there's great views behind me back towards the Borrowdale Valley, and you'll be able to see how far we've come this morning as well. Okay, so we're heading that way up towards Lining Crag, which is quite a steep climb, and then there's one further climb beyond that. Still got Eagle Crag on my right hand side here, and then just spinning round you can see all the way back down into Borrowdale. But yeah, as I say, absolutely surrounded on all sides by very steep mountains. And quite a few of these stepping stone situations today. This one, I reckon, this looks slightly more challenging than some of the others. Really got to concentrate not to stand on a stone that just suddenly moves under your feet. So lots of these sheep right up on the top. Oh, he's had a little look at me. Yeah, they don't seem put off by me at all. But I saw lots of these right on the top yesterday. Really, really nice looking beasts. Not sure what breed they are. I'll have to ask our Dickie about that later when we get in. It's amazing to think that all the water coming off the top of the mountain here is going all the way down to the distillery to cool my whiskey. quite a thought really. Past so many of these lovely waterfalls on the way up. You can see down the valley there's not a single other person on the trail. I've not passed anybody coming from the other way for about an hour either. It really is quite a solitary pursuit. Nice. Right, pack off again. Time for another rest. This is the end of the first bit of the climb. You can see the path actually goes down. I've just met a fella who was sat having a rest here. He looks absolutely knackered, this lad, but he's camping. He's lugging all of his tent and everything. He's probably 10 years older than me. You can see the really steep bit. Looking at the contours on the map, that's the steepest bit going up there. In terms of behind me, you get a bit of a flavour of how high up we are now. Can't see much of the valley anymore. Those mounds in this little valley, over to the left of the picture, sort of centre left, they're called drumlins. They're basically deposits of earth which were left by the glacier as it would have made its way down the valley at the end of the last ice age. Now that is a fun fact, one for the geography teachers. Oh bollocks. I've got a sinking feeling that this thing in front of me is Lining Crag, and that's what we're going up. Wow. Well, we've reached the top of Lining Crag. That's the heaviest bit of climbing done for the day. That was actually quite hairy. It's a very sheer sort of riverbed that I was climbing up, having to use my hands as well as my feet, feeling my way along, just doing 1 minute at a time, then stopping, then rechecking the GPS to check that I was going the sort of best way up the mountain, because there was no path as such in that stretch. I think we maybe got one more small climb, but yeah, this is pretty high up now. So we're about 1,650 feet up here. That is Eagle Crag, which, if you remember, was towering over us at the start of it. We're now sort of above that. Somewhere, although I've not got me bearings, we should be able to see Scafell Pike from here, which I'm not sure which one it is, but Scafell, obviously the highest mountain in England. I'm not sure how tall it is. I'm not sure, it's probably significantly higher than this, but this is vertigo inducing enough for me for today. Right, let's see about getting down. Well, that's a positive. I'm on the vast peat bog now. I've now climbed to about 2,000 feet. But since the guide was written that I've been following, somebody has been up and laid a massive load of slabs across the bog. So that's saved having to dig the gators and all that gubbins out, so that's a real positive. That's going to save me a bit of time. Just took it into a delicious lunch of an orange energy gel. I'd rather have a butty though. Right, welcome to the other side, folks. You can see, I think that's the path that we're going to be following, snaking down through the valley, somewhere about an hour and a half, 2 hours away down there. Will find us in Grasmere, and hopefully a well-deserved pint. Let's see how we get on. I think Grasmere is right in the very far distance, and you just about see it over there. Also just disappearing, I just parted company with my travelling companion of the last half an hour or so, Ollie from Bristol. Bit of a character. He's only 20, he's moving a lot faster than me, so I felt like slowing him down. But it's a bit rude to, you know, he was good crack. But I've had enough of him now. He's gone on his way. Well, good afternoon. We've just landed in the iconic Lake District village of Grasmere. It really is a beautiful village. I just made a quick pit stop in the village inn for a quick sharpener before I go and find my lodgings for the evening. I'm a bit jealous actually, the food in there looks really good, and I'm actually half bored for some reason tonight at my spot. I just hope the food's not too fussy. Last night all I wanted was like a pie and chips, or gammon and chips, or scampi and chips, or a mixed grill, just something basic, and a very sort of fancy venison in chocolate sauce and stuff, and it just didn't work for me after such a long day yesterday. Anyway, plenty of casks. They've got 4 cask ales on in this pub, so that does bode well. I've gone for the Tyrrell, what was it, the the Honister Pale by the Tyrrell, which is a brewery over at Ullswater Way. So cheers, I'll see you later. Okay, well that's a wrap for today for Coast to Coast Day 3. You find me sat in the residence bar. It's pretty old school, to be honest, of the Grasmere Hotel. I'm booked in for dinner in about 15 minutes time. Lovely staff in here actually, made very welcome. In terms of thoughts on the day, excuse me, I probably underestimated a bit, to be honest. It took me a lot longer to get round. Stats tell me that we did about 16 kilometres, and I left at about 10 to 11 this morning and only rolled into downtown Grasmere at about 5:30. Surprise visit, Kenji and Ronki turned up out of the distance, so I had a quick pint with mum and dad, so that was a nice little surprise. Body screaming a bit, knees and my toes, just from the pressure that you get from walking on the steep downhills. Actually, downhills almost as bad as the uphill, but it was really nice countryside today, and the weather was superb. Has now closed in, it's just started raining as I suspected it might, but we've managed to stay dry and my spirits are high ahead of tomorrow. Thanks for watching my channel. I'll see you on the next one.